Hello, my name is Safiya Noble. I'm an associate professor at UCLA, and I'm here to congratulate the friends, the family, the children, the partners, and most of all, the graduates of SCI-Arc 2020. This is your day, and I'm so thrilled to be a part of it, even though it's not the way I had envisioned it, with us all gathering together in your beautiful campus in downtown LA. But short of that, I hope that I can share a few words of encouragement for you as you celebrate this incredible, incredible day. 2020 has dealt us some blows, hasn't it? It's really been a challenging year on many fronts. In fact, technology has been kind of a core feature of the way in which we've been keeping our connections, continuing to learn, lamenting, cocktail houring, doing all of the things, of course, including your amazing projects and the things that you have created and developed while a student at SCI-Arc. So there's something that's still full of possibility about the ways in which we can engage and imagine and create. Now, my work has been focused on technology. I've really spent the last decade thinking about not just the affordances, but also some of the consequences or some of the limits of the way that these new moments that we're living in, that are in many ways so deeply facilitated by technology, also create limits on what we can do. And so I want to just spend a couple of minutes encouraging you as you celebrate this incredible day, and to offer a moment of reflection and maybe some words of advice that you can carry forward, building on all the things that you've already learned at SCI-Arc. One of the things that I think that's so powerful that you've learned at a place like SCI-Arc is that you've already taken it into your own hands to embrace a transformative kind of educational experience. You are at a place that is encouraging you and has encouraged you to think critically, to look for places where you may not have looked for answers or possibilities before. And I think there's something that is so special that you can carry with you from this kind of educational experience that you've had at SCI-Arc. And I certainly envy it myself. I'm so envious of your faculty and the kinds of work that you've been able to think about in these kinds of transformative and non-traditional ways. But even as we kind of think about these transformative possibilities that stem from this accomplishment of graduating from SCI-Arc, or the kinds of innovative, technological, and artistic and creative projects that you've developed, we always find ourselves bumping up against limits. Sometimes we find the limits on accident. In my case, I started my research as a graduate student looking at the limits of things like search engines and how limiting they were in opening up worlds of knowledge, for example, and really keeping us so much more closely tied to advertising and other kinds of corporate interests. It hadn't occurred to me until I started to look for myself and my community and people that I cared about, that I saw the limits in the technical system called a search engine. And it's not that those things didn't exist before I looked at them. It's that I looked at them through the lens of my own experience, of my own identity, of my community, of my family. And I asked different questions of the technological engagements that I was experiencing. And this is where I saw just how flawed so many of the systems that we are working with are. And so this is where I want to invite you as you embark on your own journeys, leaving the programs, that you think about centering people that you might not have centered before. In the case of the many crises that we're starting to see around big technology companies. And these are crises like predictive policing or criminal sentencing software or the use of social media to undermine democracy. I mean, these are really important and substantive issues. And part of the reason that we've come to understand them as issues is because the people who are most vulnerable are the people who've been asking questions about how these technologies get used against them. And so I want to invite you to remember that while it might be that we are in these protected spaces that feel innovative and interesting, like being able to have deliver a commencement speech over a video recording, there are so many other ways in which people don't experience these kinds of affordances or these kinds of possibilities. They, in fact, experience very, very different and many times harmful kinds of implementations of technological solutions. So I invite you to be thinking about that. One of the things that is foundational to the way that we think about the future is that we are born into systems and structures. You could almost think of them as models. Someone had a vision for how our societies and our communities would be organized. And we are confined in many ways by the limits of the models, the limits of what could have been, but wasn't pursued. And so this is where I invite you to think about where are the values? What are the values in the models that you're developing as you move into new projects and new experiences? Have you stopped to think about what values you hold and how you might organize your own work around those values? Many of the values and the models in computing, in entertainment, in education, politics, healthcare, many of these models are indeed failing us. They're just insufficient to meet the needs of the majority of people in our society. And so I think this is an incredible time to graduate from college, quite frankly. It's an incredible moment in 2020 when so many systems and projects are failing, to step into the vacuum and to envision and propose and to organize and to enact new kinds of value-based systems. And this to me is one of the most exciting possibilities around graduating from college. It's like a moment where we get to imagine a future for ourselves that maybe the world doesn't always encourage us to do. All right. So as you go into this brand new world of possibility, as you hug, I hope, and hold close to you all of the people who have made this incredible accomplishment come into fruition, I hope that you will think about the challenges that you've experienced along the way. Those challenges, it's in the challenges, it's in the rub, it's in the fracture, it's in the hardness, the hard times that we find our way forward. And of course, collectively, many societies around the world, we are feeling the rub, we are feeling the fracture, we are feeling the hardness. And this is indeed a powerful moment and a powerful year for moving forward new ideas and, again, new possibilities. Now, I think, one of the last things I want to say to you is that we're counting on you. No pressure, but we're really counting on you to step forward powerfully. And I'll tell you that I know in my own experience, I was the first generation in my family to go to college, and no one had a blueprint for me to tell me how to do it, how to pay for it, how to get it done, how to succeed. I didn't know enough about how to prepare for things like graduate school or the workforce. I was really kind of like, many people left to my own devices to try to figure it out. And one of the things that I think is so amazing in this moment that we're in is that we have more and more information and knowledge at our fingertips to help us collectively advance, move forward, be supported. I often thought as I was finishing college that it would be the people above me who would decide the fate of my future, right? The people in power, the people with authority over me. But what I've learned in my many years now on the planet is that it's actually been the people next to me and the people behind me who have pushed me forward, who have grabbed my arm and said, come on, sis, we're going to make this happen together. And so I encourage you, if there's anything that you can do as you complete this amazing journey and graduate, that you hold on to each other, that you take your crew, your peers, your friends, your comrades with you into the future, and that you together organize, strategize, support, laugh, cry, do all the things together with the people who you believe in and who push you to think more deeply and more powerfully and more potently about this time that you have to be alive and to live out your purpose. A lot of people are waiting for you. Indeed, your being here, your being a part of SCI-Arc, our opportunity to know you and to connect with you and to launch you into the world is no coincidence. Everybody is where they should be. Everybody is where they need to be. And this is an important, incredible springboard moment into the now. The future is not tomorrow. The future is right now. And so I hope that you will cherish these bonds that you've made, that you will continue to cultivate your intellectual and creative capacities, and that you will support each other's dreams. We're living in a time where a lot of us feel that the time for dreaming is too hard. But, as I look out, I watch the news, I watch the streets, I see what's happening in my own community, in the struggles for racial justice, in the struggles around the world for economic justice. This is the moment where there's so much possibility to create and design a world that benefits Earth and all of its inhabitants. And so I want to just, again, congratulate you on taking a path in your own life that will lead you somewhere profoundly, remarkably different than maybe the people in your life ever thought. I'll tell you that I went to, when I went to college, there were, this wasn't so long ago, but there weren't always people who could tell me what the pathway forward would be. And with my own students at UCLA, I see so much angst and so much anxiety about the future and becoming and being great and being the best and being on top. And, if there were any advice that I could give to you, it would be to just let go of the pressure and find ways and people to energize your ideas, to bring you up and to motivate you. Let the pain of the world, the injustices of the world motivate you to improve, make things better, contribute, be part of solutions. Life to me and these kinds of incredible benchmark accomplishments are really about marking the persistence, marking that we can start a thing and we can finish a thing. We can see something for ourselves with no evidence of it even being possible. And we can trust a process and move through it and look back and say, I did that thing. That's one of the most important to me dimensions of getting an education through all of these various formal channels. It just reminds us how powerful we are, that we can just decide and declare and do. So I want to congratulate you for deciding to go to SCI-Arc, for moving through it, moving through the challenges, for doing it. You did that. And that is incredible. I wish I could be with you. I wish that we were not living in the time where we can no longer hug it out, because if I could, I would just hug it out with you and say, we did this, and we have so much more to do, and we can do it, and we're doing it. Congratulations, friends, family, partners, children, most importantly, graduates of SCI-Arc 2020. You did that.